Hi, I'm Terry Cron with Heavy Duty Powertrain. I do the tech support on the L10, M11, and N14 engines. If you're having an electronic issue, you may find this pretty helpful. There's going to be a series of videos of troubleshooting, and where we're going to start off is the importance in how to troubleshoot your non-start situation or erratic starting. So we're going to talk about the fuel solenoid. First off, the fuel solenoid has a single connector on it and is mounted on top of your fuel pump on the left side of the engine. So if your engine's turning over and it's not starting and it's an electronic problem, the first thing you do is turn the key on and go out to the fuel solenoid and take a voltmeter, not a test light, but a voltmeter, and you want to measure the voltage, and it should be 12 volts or the same voltage as at your batteries if the ECM power supply inside of it is doing its job. And again, the ECM supplies the power to the injectors and the fuel solenoid. So let's say you take a voltage reading and the fuel solenoid is 7 volts or 8 volts. Well, the problem is if you watch that when you're cranking, if it goes below 6.2 volts, then the ECM will de-energize and it won't communicate and the truck will never start. So if you can't get past that and obtain at least 10 to 12 volts, then you have to address that problem first. Now, here's something about the fuel solenoid that a lot of people don't know. The fuel solenoid can get sluggish, and when you turn the key on, because of the corrosion and inside of it, what will happen is it'll take a draw on the ECM circuitry, and basically on the whole ECM. So if you measure the voltage and it's only, say, 8 volts, and you take the wire off and the wire says 12 volts, you know that fuel solenoid's going to burn up your ECM eventually, and that is got to be replaced before you go any further. So I would check that fuel solenoid once a year. I advise every 3-4 years to put a new one on, because it's just something that eventually gets corroded and builds up too much resistance. The other thing that a fuel solenoid will do is, we've watched it, and when you turn off the fuel solenoid, turn off the engine, the fuel solenoid being sluggish will actually, just like taking two wires and just barely touching them, and it creates a spark and what we call an arc, and it'll send it right back into the ECM, into that circuitry, and it will burn up that circuitry. And sometimes it'll actually burn up the ECM so bad that we can't even rebuild it, which would make it not a good core uh, if you turned it in. So this is really important that you stay on top of that. The wire, make sure it's good, and the fuel solenoid. And when you establish that you got 12 volts there, then at least we know that the fuel solenoid's opening. And most of the time, that kind of tells you that the ECM is powering up. But you're not still out of the quagmire, as I say, because the final test, let's say you think you found it and got that corrected, now you need to start it up. And if it doesn't, it turns over and it won't start, then we get out the little noid light. And we'll talk about that on the next series. But the noid light, you'll test the injectors to see if they're firing out of the ECM. And if they're not, then it will never start. So you got to go back and try it. Try to check all your grounds and what have you. But like I said, I'll go into that when we talk about a no start situation more in detail. after you check out your fuel solenoid. Thank you, and if you got any more questions, get a hold of me on my cell phone direct, 727-787-6495. And I usually take calls from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And our website is www.heavydutypowertrain, and that's spelled TRAIN.com. And hope that helps you. And I'm going to keep giving the videos. It seems to be real appreciated out there. And it's also helped our business, and we appreciate the in return of buying ECMs from us. It looks like a win-win situation for both of us. Thank you very much, and have a great day.